top story tonight. After years of waiting, people from our region... Hello, thanks for your company this evening. First tonight. In the last hour, it's been confirmed that post office workers who were wrongly convicted of theft and false accounting during what became known as the widest miscarriage of justice in UK history are to be offered £600,000 in compensation. More than 700 branch managers were given criminal convictions when faulty accounting software made it look like money was missing from their sites. 86 of them, including some from our region, have had those convictions overturned. David Rhodes joins us now with the details. David, this has been a long time coming for so many people, hasn't it?
This has been a scandal in the making for over 2 decades. In every corner of our region, there is a postmaster who...
You mentioned that some of those wrongly convicted postmasters spent time in prison before they were finally vindicated, including Harjinder Batoy from Chesterfield. I spoke to Harjinder earlier. I asked him about the impact that this has had on his life and his family's lives too. 18 months in prison, you went bankrupt, you lost property. The government does admit that it isn't enough to compensate all of that. But what would be enough for you, Harjinder? What do you put on it? Harjinder, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Next tonight, protesters gathered in Sheffield today as a meeting was held to decide the future of the city's iconic music venue, the Lead Mill. I'm sure you recognise that sign. It comes after months of bitter and very public dispute between the man who runs the nightclub, who's run it for 28 years actually, and the company that took ownership of the building in 2017. The landlord, Electric Group, is applying for a shadow premises licence so they can run it, having served an eviction notice on the current tenants last year. Mark Ansell was at that licensing meeting and he joins us live from there now. Mark, what more can you tell us? Isn't it gorgeous? It's Nidderdale. We all know it's beautiful, don't we? And from next year, it'll become the backdrop to an international triathlon event. The long course weekend will see about 3,000 competitors, from children to elite runners, cycles and swims, obviously, across Nidderdale. That's what triathlon is. It's hoped the event will generate £2 million for the local economy. Olivia Richwald sent this report from Paisley Bridge. Exciting, doesn't it? Let's cross over to Sal with the sport. Warnock's retiring, is it for the second or the third time?
I'm not sure. In his own words, he said into press conferences he's had more comebacks than Frank Sinatra. So, yes, we'll start with the news. The Huddersfield Town manager, Neil Warnock, is to leave the club after their next game. Warnock came out of retirement in February to try and save the Terriers from relegation. He did that and agreed to stay on for another year. But today he announced he'd agreed to make way for a new head coach. Fans will miss him and his press conferences, which are never boring. Here are a few key moments from today. In the Premier League, Sheffield United are still looking for their first win of the season after losing 2-1 to Tottenham Hotspurs on Saturday. And it was a particularly... Sheffield Wednesday, though, were still winless. They lost 1-0 to Ipswich. But in League One, Barnsley made it 3 wins in a row with a 2-0 victory against Burton Albion. Devonte Cole got to Rugby League now, and heartbreak for Wakefield, who have been relegated from Super League after 24 years in the top tier. The game, but for now, Amy.
Gutted for Wakefield Trinity, but they will be back, as he said.
They will be back.
Thank you, Sal. Now, it was a real honour to go to York Racecourse on Friday and meet everyone who was recognised in BBC Radio York's Make a Difference Awards. 32, so gorgeous, they really sparkled the city, did those bears. Did you do the hunt, Keeley?
Well, my little girl's scared of the story, so maybe next year.
So mine, 10 and 7, they're still terrified of the bear hunt. Don't read it, Mummy!
But yes, the bears in Leeds were lovely. The weather this week, it's going to feel distinctly autumnal. I think we've got some wet and windy weather to come. And actually, we had some thundery rain that brought an awful lot of rain overnight. We even had some flash flooding in places, for example, in Scarborough. So thanks for sending your pictures in. Wentworth Castle here, clouds brewing overhead, and we did have some rain today. So I think if we take a look at our second picture, there will be plenty of these as we head through this week, because we have got a lot of rain in some places over the next few days. So plenty of puddles about. Keep your pictures coming in to the Weather Watchers page, or we're on social media as well, Twitter and Instagram at Keeley.Donovan. So yes, it does look stormy over the next 48 hours, and we've got a warning from the Met Office. There could be some large rainfall totals for the Pennine chain, where the rain could be heavy and persistent over the next couple of days. The rain is down to this area of low pressure. It's actually the remnants of Hurricane Lee, so it's going to bring a few spells of wet and windy weather, still blustery on Wednesday, and then we drag down air from the northwest, so it's turning cooler as we head through Thursday and Friday, but it does remain unsettled. More showery, I think, through the second half of the week. So you can just about make out on the satellite picture this strip of cloud. That was the rain that we had today. We had some sunshine, some brighter skies following on behind, but we've also got a rush of showers pouring in from the west. The breeze will strengthen overnight, and cloud will spread in and increase from the west before the rain arrives later on in the night. Before then, temperatures will drop back to around 10 or 11 degrees. 10 is 50 Fahrenheit. Let's have a quick look at those high water times then, just before 7 o'clock in Whitby and at around about 10 past 7 in Scarborough. So we'll start the day with a lot of cloud. Tomorrow's an unsettled, windy day, spells of rain pushing in from the west. The rain will be heavy and persistent at times, particularly along this Pennine chain where we do have the warning. Not all of the rain will reach eastern areas, but we will still see spells of rain spreading east. I think to the east of high ground, though, we should see some drier spells as well, particularly later on in the day when we may start to see some brighter skies and some sunshine. A fresh to strong southwesterly breeze and temperatures lifting to around 19 degrees. And the rain tomorrow is a warm front, so it is going to be very muggy, humid, with temperatures only falling away a couple of degrees into Wednesday. So we'll start Wednesday morning with temperatures at around 16 or 17 degrees. A cold front sinks southwards on Wednesday, bringing again some heavy spells of rain, cooling down through the week, remaining unsettled and showery. Amy.
Has the heating gone on yet?
Oh, not in our house, no. I daren't even ask.
Keep telling my husband to put another jumper on. We are not having thermostat wars just yet. Not for another month at least. Well, that's it from us. Hannah Gray is here with the late news. Good night.